Alrighty guys, I'm going to show you how to do the assignment for week 7. I can go ahead and share my screen here. This is what it looks like on the Moodle page. We have a drawing file and a PDF with the instructions. So this is the PDF. We're going to go over a little bit of P&P sheets. Basically what P&P stands for is plan and profile. Okay, so basically that's just your top and side view. Okay, so your profile is just, the side view of your, what's it called? Like the surface of the earth, if you were to cut it vertically, and then you could look at the side view of, what's above ground, what's below ground, and how far are things below ground. That's what your profile would look like. We're gonna play with a water line, which is obviously below ground because it freezes here. So water lines need to be below ground. And the plan view would just be, your eagle eye view, top looking down of the area. And usually P&P sheets are, they have 2 viewports. I'll show you what the drawing looks like. So when you open up the drawing, after you download it, this is what it looks like. So this top viewport would be your plan view, and this guy would be your profile view, all right? So this green dotted line is our proposed ground, and this yellow dotted line is the existing ground. So obviously we're gonna change some things in the surface of the earth. And this red line here is actually, our water line, okay? So we're going to show exactly where we want our water line to be in reference to, the surface of the earth, how deep it's supposed to be. We got to have at least 6 feet of cover. And this top view is basically, we're going to make an alignment to show where this water line goes, if you're looking from the top down, okay? So I'm going to swap over to model space. All right. So this is just some really basic stripped down data from a previous drawing. All right. So we're going to start with a station, or we're going to start our alignment with the station 10 plus pair right here. Okay. This is where we're going to tap into our treated water line and add a T. And we're going to go up with this water line, have a 45-degree bend here, go straight over, another 45, another 45, straight down, and then we're going to end our water line. Okay. And basically we're going to add all these different symbols. These different blocks represent different things along the line. So this one represents a 45-degree bend. You have your fixture that would mount in here and the bend, and then the other section of pipe going out the other way. This symbol represents a valve. This symbol represents a T. And this symbol represents a fire hydrant. All right. So that's basically what we're adding. And yep, so this is actually the elementary school in Cody on the top of the hill, and it's Sunset something elementary. And this was taken from, that project. The previous teacher that taught this class worked on this project for their job. And so she left behind some files for me to play with. And basically, this little table right here shows, the lengths of pipe that we want, okay? So station 10 plus pair, that's where we're gonna start, all right? Begin treated water line, connect to existing 10-foot or 10-inch main with wet tap T and valve, okay? For the sake of this exercise, we're just gonna use the same symbol for a T as the wet tap T, because I do not have a block for the wet tap T that's different than the normal T. Okay, so we're just gonna use the normal T. All right, so at station 10 plus pair, we can add that block, all right? So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna move this block. You can just select it by the grip here and put it right here on 10 plus pair, okay? I'm going to rotate that guy so it actually looks realistic, okay? So I'm going to go like this. Oops. Rotate. Reference. There we go. So there's our treated water line, this guy. And we're gonna, go off with our wet tap T up that direction, okay? So I'm gonna do is start with the polyline. It's important that you start with the polyline instead of just a line because we want all these, segments to be connected. But first of all, I'm actually going to measure the distances I need to go, all right? And for this northing and easting, just kind of ignore that for now. Basically, the only information that you really need to use for this assignment is these stations, all right? So basically, at this station, 11 plus 91, we have another T to a fire hydrant, okay? So if you remember the whole station numbering system, 11 plus 91 is literally 1,191 feet. And this guy is 1,000 feet. And so the difference between them would be our length of pipe, okay? So this first section of pipe would be 191 feet. I know that because 1191 minus 1,000 is 191, all right? So what I'm gonna do is actually add another column here just for the lengths. So I have a reference, all right? I'm just gonna type in 191. You may want it to do the same, or you could just look at the video and look at my references, all right? So we want to subtract these two to get the next length of pipe, all right? So 1346 minus 1191. I'm just going to do 346 minus 191, 155, okay? So that's how long our next segment of pipe is going to be, 155 feet. All right? And so from 46 to 57, that's 4 plus 7, that's 11 feet, correct? Oops. So our next section is 11 feet long of pipe. And that's why we do this, is because, we want our contractor to know what different lengths of pipe he needs to buy and cut to prepare for the job, all right? So 57 and 70, that is 13 feet. My max, if my math is correct, 13 feet, all right? And from 523, 1370 to 1523, I'm going to use the calculator for that one. So 1523 minus 1370, 153 feet of pipe, all right, for that next section. 153, all right. And from 1995 back to 1523, that's our next segment of pipe. So 1995 minus 1523, 472 feet is our next segment. 472. Oh, forget. 472, enter. There we go. Yep, okay. And then from 95 to 2011, so 2011 minus 1995, 16. So that would be our next segment of pipe, 16 feet. This one is 5 feet. I can do that one in my head. Right? 16 minus 11 is 5. So 133 minus, so 2133 minus 2016, 117 feet of pipe. This next one, 117. Alrighty. And this last segment of pipe will be 25 and 06 minus 2133, 373 feet of pipe. Alrighty. 373. So those are our different lengths of the polyline that we're going to create, all right? And so we just have to pay attention to where the bends are, all righty? So we have a 45, a 45, 45, another 45, all right? The other ones are just going to go straight north or east or northeast, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and hit PL for my polyline command, all righty? PL, if my computer catches up, all right. So we know that the next length, or the first length, is 191 feet going straight north, okay? So I'm just going to snap onto this guy because we know it's supposed to start here. I'm going to turn ortho on so we know it goes straight up. 191, enter. Alrighty. So there's our length of pipe, 191 feet long. And we know, yep, there's going to be a T there. We can add that later. We have another T after that. So 155, I'm going to keep going straight up because we don't have a bend yet. So 155, enter. All right, that's our next length of pipe to the following T. All right. And then the next length is 11 feet of pipe to a gate valve. Okay. So I'm going to keep going up, 11, enter. There should be a gate valve at the end, that segment. Alrighty. And then 13 feet after that, we have a 45-degree bend to the northeast. Okay. So I'm going to go up 13. All right. Now we're going to have a bend after this point. Okay. So 153 feet to the northeast, we have another bend to the east. Okay. So I'm going to turn ortho off. And 153 is our length there. So I'm just going to, wait, what did I say? 100 and something? 153. Okay. So I'm going to type in 153. I'm just going to hit tab to hop over to the angle there. I'm going to type in 45. Right? 153 or 143? 153. Okay. All right. And the next segment is 472. And we know that it is a bend to the east. All right. So we're just going to go straight east. So I'm going to turn my ortho back on. 472. All right. So 472. All right. Now we have another bend. Correct. 472. We have a bend to the southeast. Okay. So I'm going to turn ortho off. What was our distance? I got like short-term memory loss, apparently. 472. Yeah, 472, tab. 45. Oh, I don't think that's right. It is not. Did I do this? I think I might have put my labels in there wrong. Yeah, I think I skipped one. I know for a fact this segment is too long. So what I'm going to do is highlight this guy, remove vertex. Okay. But yeah, so for the sake of, an example, you may mess up as much as I did. You may not. So let's see. This guy was our 400 foot some length. 472. Okay. Yeah, so from here to there is 191, 155, 11, 13, 153, 472, 16. Okay. Yeah, so I think that's where I went wrong. Maybe. 472 and then 16. Oh, I think I repeated the 472. Yeah, so let's just use the dist command, measure how far this guy is from here to there. Yep, 472. Okay, so the next one is, I'm going to go back to my polyline. This one's supposed to be 16. All right. I'm going to go at a 45. 16 feet. Okay. Now it's going to go another 5 feet at that same angle because we don't have a bend yet. All right. So 5, tab, 45. All right. 5 feet. And then the next one, we have a bend. So 117 feet later, we have a bend. So we're going to continue to go at this 45-degree angle for 117 feet at 45 degrees. There we go. That looks better. Now we have the bend after that little segment. We have the next pipe. 373 feet. And that will just be straight down. So 373, enter. All right. So that's what your polyline should look like. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to join these polylines together. So we just have one continuous chain. Join this guy and that guy, enter. There. Now they're all one entity. And you can see that there's multiple segments that have the varying lengths of pipe that we want. Alrighty. So now we can just go back and add our blocks that they're supposed to be. So at that after that first segment, we have a T to a fire hydrant. What I'm going to do is copy this block for my T. Copy, paste. All right, I'm just going to put it up here to figure out where exactly my end point is. Okay, so it's supposed to be right there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and rotate this guy first. Rotate. What? Oh, I spelled it wrong. Rotate. I guess it doesn't really matter what my base point is. I'm going to use a reference. So from here to there, that's the way I want my T. Realistically, you'd probably want to talk to your engineer and ask him, which way does this T supposed to go? It's supposed to go away from the building or towards the building. I'm going to have mine going towards the building, but you can do whatever you want because these definitions don't define if it's going east, west, north, south, whatever. It just says there's a T, so I'm just going to put a T in there. All right. So a helpful tip to use is actually copy from base point. If you don't know about that command, it's helpful for things like this, right? So you can hit Control-Shift-C, copy from base point, and then you can copy from, here, let me go, where's my insertion point? Right here, okay. So turn on your insertion, snap, and you should be able to snap to the insertion point on this block, which should be right there. All right, I'm gonna turn off all my other snaps so they don't throw me off. Okay, insertion, and then maybe I'll have an endpoint so I can snap onto my polyline. All right, copy from base point, and it's not working. Should work, but if not, I'm just gonna turn off the OSnap and just kind of eyeball our block. Select objects. Okay, and then hit Control-V, and you see how my cursor is right where I clicked. So that's my base point, all right? That's what made it copy from base point. All right, so then you can paste using the same base point, all right? So the endpoint of that first segment is 191 feet away from the beginning. Man, this thing's laggy. All right, there we go. So then the next segment of line is up here. And what's next? All right, so we have our T. The next one is a T also. So what I'm gonna do is actually just move this one using the grip and then find the next segment, make sure that's the right one. Yep, so we got our T there, and the next one I believe is a valve. Yep, we got a gate valve. So that's what this block here is. I'm just gonna grab it by its grips. Turn off ortho. Right there, there's my gate valve. Ready? The next one, I have a 45 bend to the northeast, all right? So the orientation of this block is actually correct. So I'm just going to grab it by the grips. Oops, what the heck? Okay. There we go. And then snap right there. That's where that guy should be. And we know that the next one, yeah. So I'm going to use the Control-Shift-C. Click on this guy and then hit V. And it should paste from the base point. I'm just going to snap to the next endpoint, the next segment of that polyline. My computer ever catches up. Okay, come on. There we go. All right. And obviously I'm going to need to rotate that block because it doesn't line up with my line here. So basic modified tools, rotate, base point. All right. And let's go -45. There we go. That's what she should look like. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. Copy from base point, Control-Shift-C, copy, Control-V, paste. Put this guy over here. Might as well put one over here while I'm at it. There you go. Now I just got to rotate them. So right click, rotate, base point there, and I'm going to go another -45. All right. Negative meaning clockwise. Okay. And this one's going to have to go -90. Whoa. Yeah. Right click, rotate. Alrighty. And -90. There we go. All right. And we have a couple, I think we have a valve in there somewhere. Let me just double check. All right. So we got our T, valve, bend, gate valve. All right. So there should be a gate valve in between those two 45s and a T. Okay. So we got a gate valve. So I'm going to do the same trick. Select this guy, copy from base point. We have a gate valve in here. All right. Gate valve comes first. Control-V. Just make sure that, yeah, okay. So this gate valve is first and then the T is next. So this T, Control-Shift-C for copy from base point, Control-V, paste. And I'm going to need to rotate those guys. Alrighty, so right click, basic modified tools, rotate, base point, select that guy. And we want it to go 45. There we go. Now it's oriented correctly. This guy needs to rotate quite a bit. Rotate. Wait, so this would be, yeah, 90. No, that's 45. Let's try -135. There we go. So there's our blocks and they're at place. Alrighty. So we got the valve, we got the T, we got the bend. That should be all of them. So we know that these T's go to a fire hydrant, correct? So what I'm going to do is actually draw another line coming out of this T. And it doesn't specify distance, so you can make it however long you want. All right, and then just put this block right on the end of that line. All right, so we've got our line coming off and our fire hydrant. And what I can do is actually select both these things and use the Control-Shift-C, copy from base point, and then paste both of them at the next T, like that. All right, and then like this on this one, like that. I'm gonna select both of these guys, rotate, and then -135, like that. All right. So now our blocks are in the right place, relatively speaking. Alrighty. And we have our distances. So the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to create an alignment to double check our stationing, making sure it's all correct. All right. So what we can do on the home tab, you have your alignment toolbars. So we're actually going to go create alignment from objects. Alrighty. What we're going to do is just select the first polyline we made. All right. And this is why it's important that this polyline is all joint into one. All right. Because if it's not, you may have issues with this. And you will have to undo your alignment creation tools and join those lines back together. And we do not want to add these ones in. We just want this main line. All right, because we don't know exactly what these are supposed to be. So for the sake of this assignment, we're just going to go with this main line that we're adding. All right. So then just select this guy, hit enter, boom. And you see this arrow here on the top, that's showing you the direction. Since the arrow's going correctly, it's starting on this side, I don't have to hit R. So I'm just going to hit enter. If I were to hit R, I would swap directions. And we want to start at 10 plus pair like we always do. Alrighty. And alignment style, let me double check that PDF, see what exactly I have you guys do. Okay. TW line will be the name, alignment style basic. All right, I'm going to do those things first. TW proposed. Is that what I said? Oh, TW line, actually. TW line, all right. The PDF says basic, TW proposes the layer, basic, and then I can select my layer using this little icon right here. All right. TW proposed, there it is. Select that guy. And we want major and minor only, and uncheck this add curves between tangents. Alrighty. And we can leave that guy checked, because if we do not, it will have an alignment on top of a polyline, which may not print very nicely. So we're going to leave that guy checked and hit OK. Boom. There it is. All right. So with that, you can actually double check your distances to make sure that things are in the right place. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I can use the dist command, or I could do a circle, whatever you want to do. I'm going to use the dist command this time. So I'm going to snap from here, from the 21 to there, 33. So right now it's drawn to having this 45 at 21 plus 33 along the alignment. Right? So is that right? Yes, 21 plus 33. And since that one's on the end, most of these other ones should be right. Because if one of these got screwed up, the alignment would be screwed up from that point on. So if the ones near the end are correct, that means these other ones are most likely correct. But it's probably good to double check all of these if you really want to, but you don't have to. But yeah, so we got the alignment. So there's our plan view basically, right? And what this guy is our profile view, okay? So this is just data stripped from that surface that was drawn previously by the other teacher. So the only thing that's left is this line, okay? Which was originally associated with a 3D surface, but we took all that out to make the drawing more basic. And basically this red line is the profile view or the side view of that line we just drew around the school, all right? It's kind of funky because, you know, we're looking at it from the side the entire length, okay? So we have a lot of bends going on, and our orientation technically changes if we were to look at this from the side the whole way. But we really are only worried about how deep the pipe is in relation to the surface of the earth, okay? So what I want you to do is add these labels where these joints are supposed to be, all right? So let's say down the road, 10 years or so, you want to replace one of these, all right? You're like, they have a newer version of this 45. I want to swap these guys out with the newer version because who knows, maybe these ones cause cancer or some weird thing like that, all right? You would be able to find exactly the location of this guy and how far down you need to go to find it, all right? So if I use my dist command, I can double check that, you know, its location is correct from here to there, 23 feet. So 15 plus 23, let's double check the table. Yep, 15 plus 23, we should have a 45 degree, all right? So if we go over here, basically this viewport is combining the grid and, you know, our profile view together to create this P&P sheet, okay? So 15 plus 23, we should have that 45 degree bend, you know, that represents this one right here, okay? So you should be able to see, oh yeah, we got 6 feet of cover. That's exactly how deep it is. So if you ever wanted to go back and replace it 10 years down the road, you know exactly where it's at and how deep you have to dig to find it. Alrighty. And that's why all this stuff is important, because as you can tell, there's a lot of lines going along this road over here, right? We got a gas line, we got a telephone line, sewer, we got a bunch of stuff going on. So it's important that we, you know, map these things out correctly, because you don't want to accidentally run into a gas line, because you could die, or you could blow something up, or you could start a fire, or many bad things can happen if you don't do this correctly, all right? Flooding can happen, bad things, all right? So we want to do it as accurate as possible, all right? And one thing I notice right now is that my viewport is getting cut off right here. So what I'm going to do before I do anything else, I'm actually going to double click in this viewport and unlock it. I'm going to actually pan down, alrighty? So my numbers aren't cut off. I'm going to relock my viewport. There you go. Now I can see my letters. So basically what I want you to do with this whole bottom half, this profile view, I want you to copy these labels and this symbol, all right, along this line and place them where they're supposed to be, okay? And the reason why this T is an oval instead of a circle is because with these P&P sheets, usually there is a vertical exaggeration, okay? So we know that from 10 to 11, we literally have 100 feet from here to here along the alignment, all right? But if you look at these squares, you know, this is a 50-foot in length square, but right here we only have 5 feet from, you know, 5,000 to 5,005. So our horizontal scale is different than our vertical scale, okay? So that's why these things end up being ovals, okay? Because our scales are different. We're squishing everything in horizontally, relatively like 10 times smaller, all right? Because this one goes as in multiples of 5, and this one goes in multiples of 50 on these grid marks, okay? So this oval should be 10 times less wide as it is tall, if you really want to do it perfectly, all right? So 11 plus 91, this one's just one I placed for you guys to, you know what the heck is going on. So we know that 11 plus 91, we're supposed to have a T to the fire hydrant, okay? T to the fire hydrant, 11 plus 91. Okay, what I'm going to do actually is copy the next label and paste it over here so I don't have to retype it, okay? So this next one, we have 13 plus 46, we have a T to the fire hydrant. So I'm going to just copy this label and paste it down here, okay? I'm actually going to rotate these guys. Rotate, there we go. Move this guy up. Turn off my ortho for a sec. All right. So we have our station and our description, and alrighty. So we know that the distance between 1191 and 1346 is the same as it is here, right? So 155. So what we can do is literally just draw a line, or you can draw a circle or whatever you want. I'm gonna turn my center snap back on. There we go. All right. So what was it? 155? Yeah. So 155 feet away, we should have another symbol. 155. All right, so this one is a little bit off. So I'm gonna just grab this little guy right here and move it over. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just want it pretty dang close. All right. So that's literally 155 feet away from this, you know, previous T. We have another T. So this is another place where the copy from base point is helpful. Control-Shift-C. I can copy from the center of this circle or oval, ellipse, whatever you want to call it, and paste it right there. And then since this guy is a polyline, I can just grab this center grip and, whoa, not that. Move it up. Alrighty. So basically, I just want you to do that with all of these. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to turn the O snap off. It's not working. Okay. This is what I want you to do with all of these labels. Just move them to where they're supposed to be along our profile view. Okay, does that make sense? So this next one will be 11 feet away, right? So I'm going to do actually just draw a circle, starting the center of this guy, 11 feet. All right, and let's see if that's the radius or the diameter. Let's just double check. Radius 11. Okay, good. So what we can do is just copy all these guys, including this. Control-Shift-C, copy from base point, and select the center of our ellipse, paste, and then just turn on, let's see, quadrant. Let's try that. There we go. There it is, 11 feet away. And you obviously don't want your text on top of each other, which this one probably is. So we can grab this guy and that guy. Basic modify tools, move them down this way, and then drag this line over using this grip like that, okay? And obviously you'll have to change, you know, the text, or you can copy and paste. All right, so this one's a gate valve. So you could copy this guy, paste it, rotate it, whatever you want to do, or you can just type it in again. So I'm going to show you how to do both. I showed you how to copy and paste and rotate. This one, we wanted to say 13 plus 57, all right? So just double click in here. 13 plus 57. This guy's a gate valve, okay? Gate, oop, I need a caps lock. Gate valve. Alrighty. Gate valve. Oh, I guess I should have the definition. 8-inch gate valve. Okay. 8-inch gate valve. So let's add the 8 inches on there. 8-inch gate valve. Okay. And you can also double check this guy by going onto your layout tab. All right. So, oh, it looks like my one of my layers isn't right because it's disappearing in that viewport. So what layer is this? Text. What layer is this? 0. Okay. So I'm gonna put both of these guys on the 0 layer so it doesn't disappear. 0. There we go. All right, now let's double check this guy. Oh, now they're showing up. So 13 plus 46 13 plus 57. All right, that looks pretty good. All right. Makes sense, right? Because this is 13 plus pair, so this would be 1350. And 46 and 57 are on both sides of 50, so it's pretty right, pretty accurate, okay? So I just basically want you to do the same thing with everything else in the table, okay? So just copy and paste your ellipse, your little leader, and your descriptions and stations along the profile view to show, you know, along the profile where all those T's and valves and elbows and things are. Alrighty? So just want you to go ahead and do that. And realistically, we'd probably want this guy on the same layer as that guy so it doesn't look weird when you print it. So I'm going to just select these guys and put them on the layer 0. So, or maybe I could change the color of these actually. Whatever you wanted to do, make it consistent. Let's see if I change this layer to 0, does it change to white? Let's try it. 0. Nope. Properties, color 42. Let's change it by layer. There we go. By layer, and change this one to the 0 layer. Zero. Alrighty. Now they're all consistent. And realistically, in the field, what you would probably do, or what the engineer would have you do, is not only list the station, but also list the elevation of each one of these things. You don't have to do that for this assignment, but for an engineer, that you probably would do that. All right. So you'd say 11 plus 91, and then you'd have your elevation. Let's just say it's 5021.5. All right. That'd be the elevation of this guy. So you do 11 plus 91 dash 5021.5 right here in that description. All righty. So with this one, we already have the north arrow. You don't really have to worry about messing with adding a scale bar if you don't want to, because this is just how the title block was set up previously, and you don't have to modify that, because if an engineer gives you a title block that he likes, you might not want to change that. So we are golden. That's how you do that assignment. Just go ahead and finish this guy out by adding these labels where they're supposed to be, and you can double check them on this page, making sure that they look okay. And also just make sure that your labels aren't cut out of the viewport, or they're not on top of this text at the end. You may need to move them around a little bit, make sure they look nice. And you can go ahead and add an M text, add your name, so I know who's turning it in. And then either email it to me or print it off, hand it to me in person. I don't really care what you do. Just turn it into me, either way. And that's how you do that week's assignment. Let's see. Zoom. Hopefully that's helpful. I'll see you later.